There are those who would like to see you fail in your journey. That's not going to happen on my watch. Let's go.
Can we stop for ice cream, Bart? Can we stop for ice cream? Oh, it's the Max! Ho 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 ho! The Portland Light Rail System. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. I am Simulated Irk, and we are about to head out on another adventure. Let's have a look at our truck, a little bit smaller than on the last episode. And we are continuing our coast-to-coast journey across America. Haven't been into Mexico for a couple of episodes now, but here's our rather nice looking truck. Nice big red Kenworth there, looking absolutely fantastic. So let's get into the truck. Say g'day to Mr. Morgan Freeman.
There are those who would like to see you fail in your journey. That's not going to happen on my watch. Let's go.
Now, you may be able to notice up the top of the screen, it's very small, but there's some navigation. That's a mod, and that enables me, the way that I'm doing things, to keep an eye on the fuel, the fatigue, and my travel time and all of that sort of stuff, rather than how obtrusive it can be. Now, where am I going? That's a good question. I think I'm going out where the boom gate is to the left. So it's just before 2 p.m. on Wednesday. We're expected at our destination at 9:30 on Wednesday, so 7 hours 40. Should have no trouble with fuel or fatigue. One of the problems that I have with navigation leaving these places is that I didn't actually drive into them, because I took one job that arrived here in Conway in one direction, and then I've arrived at one place, and now I've come over to this place electronically, so to speak, before coming here. So I don't know how I actually got in. Morgan, this is a bit where you say turn right, my friend, I think. So this just looks like an industrial park. Lots of different... Oh, there's a... that's a... train carriage with actual Walmart containers on it. That's cool. That's way cool. And also what I've done as well... Sorry, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt, MF. What I've also done, apart from the navigation that's just at the top of the screen, so meant to be inobtrusive, so I can provide some commentary on it. On the dash, there's a mod that makes it look a little bit more like a Google map, and so I'm running that now as well. So.
In 0.1 miles, turn right.
So I'm not running as blind as... So it just looks like we've been in this big industrial area for the last 5 minutes.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
So, with the exception of the map mods, any of the other mods that I'm using, like realistic buses, realistic trains, companies, weather effects. What are you talking about? The light said I could turn. I'm going to follow that one. I was turning to the right and the arrow says I can go to the right. He must have thought I was going straight ahead.
Keep right. And then turn right.
Alright.
Turn right.
99-cent hamburgers, eh? Darwing, is that supposed to be like Boeing? Alright.
Keep left. And then turn left.
Sometimes it is handy to know how far you are away from your destination. You don't necessarily... Light him up! Light him up, Popo. Sometimes you do want to find out how far you actually are away from your destination, but you don't want the mini-map down the bottom of the screen to interrupt with the one that's actually there. So this mod at the top is a great idea. Probably should find one lane and stick to it, shouldn't I? These lanes look very narrow. We're about Fort Smith, that's where we went past on the last episode. So we are continuing to head east. And we can turn left. Alright, no traffic coming onto the interstate. That's what I like to see. Let's go. We're about to put the hammer down 10-4. So hope you are enjoying all the content across Simulated Earth. Have lots of different series that we're currently running. Oh, 152 miles from Memphis. There's Euro Truck, Japan Truck, and American Truck that we're running at the moment. So that's cool. That comes out on basically the transport ones, the buses, the trains. They come out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The Farm Simulator and Flight Simulator come out on Fridays. Sport, when it resumes, will be Saturdays and Sundays. The emergency services roleplayers, when they come back, they'll be Mondays. And we're heading towards Jacksonville and Memphis. and
Keep left.
what I call the workshop series, train station renovation and also bus mechanic simulator. They'll be on Workshop Wednesdays. So lots at simulatordirtgaming.com and also on YouTube. Lots of playlists there for you if you like. If you're just into a particular type of video. There's slices of real life as well. Occasionally I play slices of real life in these episodes. They'll be getting added to, and they'll have their own list on the Simulator Dirt channel as well. And also for something a little bit different, my cat Meow baby girl. Some people have liked seeing some video of her, so I've been filming some video of her as she's getting used to apartment life. Recently moved into an apartment building. It's a 9-story building. I'm on the 8th floor. When I was a child, when I was a young boy, my father took me to see a marching band. No, he didn't. No idea. No idea where he was, where he is, what he's doing, don't care. Anywho, I was about 4 or 5. And I lived in an apartment building. It was only 3 stories, which was high at the time, for the area that I was in. And being the 1980s, it was a lot noisier. You could hear the trains, which was fair enough considering I lived across from a train line. You can hear the neighbours. Mum would have some sort of running battle with our neighbours underneath us. Because I was a little kid, so I used to like running around. And so the noise of me running around while they're trying to watch TV at night was a bit annoying, apparently. You'd hear arguments and people yelling and all that sort of stuff, slamming doors, all of that sort of thing. And one of the things that I used to complain about, 95 miles from Memphis, we're only 380 miles from our destination, 6 hours and 25 minutes away. One of the things I used to complain about as a small child apparently is walking up and down the stairs, carrying shopping. Like if Mum and I went shopping, carrying things, and she'd only give me small things to lift, and things that she knew that I was eating. So it'd be things like the tomato sauce bottles, the cordial bottles, that sort of stuff. She'd be carrying most of it, and she'd say to me something like, well, you want to eat the tomato sauce, you have to help me. And now I'm in a 9-story apartment. There's 2 lifts, and now I am living basically in the centre of Newcastle, next to what I like to call Newcastle Harbour. It's really the Hunter River. I've got a tram track that runs right past me, and I can't hear that much at all with the especially with the window shut. I can't hear much at all. You can occasionally hear the tram go past. Ships on the river, sometimes you hear their horn. Sometimes you hear the occasional siren, and if it's a loud thunderstorm,
Keep right.
hear that. I very rarely hear the neighbours either side of me or underneath or on top of me. Rarely hear them. I'm a shift worker, so there's lots of time where I could be sleeping during the day. For instance, I've got a whole lot of night shifts coming up this next 2 weeks. So I need to be able to sleep during the day, and sleeping here during the day, with the exception of the sun coming through the curtains, which I've got a temporary fix for. I'm looking for a more permanent solution. The owner's aware of that now. But it's very, very quiet here. Sometimes you hear the little ding of the lift when it arrives on the floor. Sometimes you just hear people opening and closing their front door, but you don't hear a lot. Owner was telling me yesterday that previous residents thought that it was really noisy here. And so apparently they were told that, it's not as noisy if you close your window. You keep the windows closed. It's not as noisy. There's air conditioning in the lounge room. If you want fresh air, you can open the balcony door. Yeah, West Memphis discovered you can crack open the windows a little bit, I suppose, but apparently now there's double glazed windows, and construction has improved, and soundproofing of that has improved so much over time that when I'm here right now, it barely, I know the fact that I'm living in a 9-story building, I'm 8 stories up, and I'm in the middle of a city. And that's not the most congested city in the world, Newcastle, but it is an important regional centre 2 to 3 hours north of Sydney. And so you would expect to hear, some nice. I'm in Newcastle West. It's a really quiet area. There's a little bit of residential, like apartments and stuff around here, but there's no, there's a hotel. There's a hotel/pub, whichever you want to call it, a bar, a couple of blocks away. But apart from that, there are some shops. There are some shops around. Some of them are closed, but there's not a lot of noise generated. We do go through Memphis after all. I thought, well, with the distance, we wouldn't actually make it to Memphis, but we have. So there's not a lot of noise. Not a lot of noise around here. I'm not close. I'm 300 meters from the train station, but because of the soundproofing and the design of the station, etc., I don't hear any of the noise from the train station. If I'm at the train station, I can actually see Erk Tower.
Right. And 10, exit right.
I can actually see Erk Tower, but I can't.
Exit right.
But the noise that a train station produces,
And 10, turn right.
I can't see it. I can't see the train station from here.
Turn right.
I can't hear any of the associated noise. I'm basically right opposite the tram depot. There's not a lot of noise that comes from there. Most of their heavy stuff that they'd be doing during the day and in their main building, so you wouldn't hear it anyway. And trams don't make as much noise as trains anyway. But yeah, the noise, and I'm still, I've got basement parking, so I've got my car there, I've got my scooter, and I've got Mum's mobility scooter that she won't be using anytime soon, so I've got it stored here. And if I want to go for a ride on my scooter, I just get on my scooter, just go for a ride around a bit. Hopefully, I'm working on getting some video from some of the rides around here. Really picturesque stuff. It's just coming into spring, like the end of winter, early spring. You get a nice blue sky day, and it's really picturesque. Here in Newcastle, lots of beaches, coastline, that sort of stuff. Welcome to Mississippi. So I did mention that we'll be briefly in Mississippi. Actually, I did see a sign that said welcome to Mississippi, rather than when we came into Arkansas, didn't say a thing. So there is some spectacular scenery around here in Newcastle, coastal areas, that sort of thing, beaches. And then you go inland, and within half an hour's drive you can be, half hour, 45-minute drive, you can be seeing farmland. Now, everything that I need, and this has been the same in Sydney too. Everything that I need is around here. Like, a couple of friends said to me that anything that you need in Newcastle is around about a 20-minute drive. Anywhere to anywhere in Newcastle is about a 20-minute drive at max. So I've got a shopping centre nearby that has each major supermarket at either end of it. There's a larger shopping centre 10-minute drive away. We've got roadwork coming up here, so we'll just move over. Just give them enough room. I'm occupying 2 lanes for the moment because those barriers are right on the lane line and protruding into the lane. So while I've got nobody around me, I'll take advantage of that, and then I'll move over into the left lane. Looks like I'm exiting here anyway. Still got 4 hours and 20 minutes of drive time. Oh no, we are going straight. Okay. So I'm really happy. Like, as I said, everything was in about 10 to 15 minutes drive away. Or the old Newcastle rule, everything's basically within 20 minutes. You can go further if you want to, but everything you basically need is within 20 minutes of here. Now that I'm basically living, a 3-minute walk from the train station, which I'll be based at, is fantastic. I've always commuted in some way, shape or form, and and if you're working a long shift, I can work up to 10 hours at a time. If I'm working a long shift, the last thing I want to be doing is spending an hour commuting in either direction, which I was doing before. That increased to a 2.5 to 3 hour commute. That's assuming that the trains line up. So it's quite easy to be spending 16 hours away from home. So now at the max, I'll only be spending 10 hours maximum away from home. I don't have to worry about connecting up with a train or a bus to get to the station. I can just walk. And sometimes you go, you've got a 2.5, 3 hour commute. But then again, you've also got to line up the train at either end with whatever it is that you're doing. And that can add time as well, especially early in the morning, late at night. That can really add to it as well. So a lifestyle change, absolutely 100% lifestyle change, and that's what I was after. And I've had people. We're 39 kilometres away from Hamilton and a bit further away from Birmingham. I think it was Birmingham. And I've had people say to me, "Oh, dude, you seem a lot..." Not that I was really... we're coming up to a way station. We might have to drop in. Okay, I can bypass the way station. Thank you. That's handy. And I've had people tell me that I'm much happier now. Some of that is because I've had a change of lifestyle. Some of it's because I don't have any caring responsibilities for mum now. It's just myself and meow. So I don't have that responsibility now. Whereas before I was her primary carer, and you're always thinking, while you're doing anything else, what's she going through and all that sort of stuff. But she's been well looked after by a team of professionals. So while I still think about how she is and everything like that, the fact that I can't see her at the moment, yeah, it was Birmingham. We're in Alabama now. Alabama, man. So we are in Alabama, so we are close. We're about 3 hours 12 away, 188 miles. So the fact that I don't have to worry about that anymore, the fact that I don't have to worry about commuting anymore, and there's people who came over to, we're heading to Atlanta, really? I suppose, yeah, I guess we could head to Atlanta from here.
Keep left.
The fact that, I don't have to worry about commuting anymore, don't have any caring responsibilities apart from myself and the cat, which is honestly something that I haven't had in 20 years. And the absence of a commute is fantastic. And the views, I'm eventually putting together a video of the views and setting up the studio. I'm not fully happy with how it's set up yet. I've got a couple of things to do. But overall, I've produced a lot of videos since I've been up here. We are in the middle of that global pandemic that is very known in 2020. And so other times where I might have gone out or gone to the shops or whatever, I basically only go if I need to go. I'm not necessarily like before. Like I might go to the shops once a week for shopping, and then I might go another time just to look at things, window shop, whatever. Whereas a lot of the stuff now, I'll get what I need to get when I go out. I'm getting usually shopping home delivered once a month. And a lot of things I'm getting delivered from the internet. That whereas before, turn the lights on now. Before I'd be going to the shop to get something, and for instance this morning, I've been looking at, I've got a couple of GoPro cameras that I'll use occasionally on Simulated Irk and for other things. The slices of life, I'll be using them for that and that sort of thing. A lot of that footage has just been shot on the iPhone at the moment, which is fine, as you can see. But I was looking at a solution to be able to ride my scooter around and get some slice of life while riding the scooter. And I found that there was a lot of hello baby girl. I found there was a lot of vibration. I had it mounted to the handlebar. I couldn't get the rubber insert to fit and still do up and everything. So the amount of vibration made it unwatchable. Hello, baby girl. Watch the keyboard, please. Thank you. Good job, baby girl. She's been really good at that lately. Walking around the studio desk, but avoiding the keyboard. She took a really epic screenshot once. Totally by accident, clearly, but She's been really good at walking over the studio desk and avoiding the keyboard, making that extra effort to avoid the keyboard, which is great. Probably helps that the keyboard's actually been in the same location for about a week now.
Keep right.
So that's been... So she's been really good at not walking on the keyboard and that sort of stuff. And I don't necessarily like her being in here when I'm not in here. Although I've sort of relaxed that a bit now that I know how she's behaving around it, and I should just leave the door open now. Her main thing is she tries to get into the cupboard where I've got all my stuff stored, my computer stuff stored, and I don't want her in there particularly. She's got plenty of hidey spots around here. Old Meow. I'll show you a video of Meow when I pull up with this load. We're about 2 hours away now. So it's just approaching 9 PM on Wednesday. We're expected just before 11. So an hour and 3/4 worth of driving to go. Fatigue shouldn't be an issue. Birmingham discovered. So we'll be a little bit tight on fuel and fatigue by the time we get there, but nothing that's concerning me at this stage. So I will show you a video of Meow. She's got her own playlist on YouTube, Simulated Earth Gaming. She's got her own playlist there of videos that I'm making. So we're still heading in the general direction of Atlanta. Yeah, but to my earlier point, a lot of the time where I'd be necessarily going outside, going to shopping centres and all of that sort of stuff, when at the moment I don't really need to, and I am trying to cut down on the risk of catching something from other people, even though, it's a minor risk. But there's been weeks there where the only time that I've gone out is to go to work and to go shopping because I've needed food, or otherwise I've had it delivered. Maybe we should try and make Atlanta our next destination. Head down to the south, head down to somewhere like Miami, and then work our way up the east coast. And then come across back west via somewhere like Chicago, and then after that, do the same for Canada. And then after that, do Canada.
Turn right.
There's also Euro Truck Simulator, Japan Truck Simulator, which is a map mod based on Euro Truck Simulator. That's going fine. Need to do some more episodes of those two a little bit later on. Train Simulator's going well. Train Sim World and Train Simulator. Just started my simulated aviation journey. I'm waiting for some rudder pedals to make my takeoffs a little bit easier in my Cessna 172. I've got a yoke. But rudder's a little bit difficult with the keyboard. So, and that problem's not going to go away. It's probably going to get worse with the bigger planes that I want to get to eventually. So some rudder pedals will be the next purchase, and then probably I'll get a throttle after that. And then I think that'll basically do me for hardware that I need for Flight Sim. Just on an hour to go. But Microsoft Flight Simulator rather, has just come out at the time of recording, so a lot of people are out there at the moment snapping up rudder pedals, yokes, all that sort of stuff. Really, as soon as they can get it, they're getting it, sort of thing. As they're quickly discovering that flying a plane with a keyboard or a mouse. I am running out of fuel. I am 51 miles away. I should make it. It'll probably say you're getting fatigued shortly as well. I should be able to make that as well. I've got 54 minutes or 49 miles of actual game time, so I should be able to make it quite easily in the end. So people are discovering that the hardware really does help. And I know I found the first day that I recorded the episode of Flight Simulator on Simulated Irk, I tried flying with the keyboard with X-Plane 10, didn't really like it, and then I got X-Plane 11, got the yoke because I knew that I'd need it, and the first day that I used X-Plane 11, I was in the air and flying with the yoke, whereas that would have been a lot more difficult with the keyboard, mouse, or even the controller, really. So I'm hoping the rudder pedals, a lot of people are snapping up the rudder pedals as soon as they can, because Flight Simulator's just come out by Microsoft, and that is from what I've seen, that's really good. I'm holding off on that at the moment. I am quite content with X-Plane 11, just learning the Cessna on that. I'm going to the right here, aren't I, Morgan? Yep.
Keep right, and then exit right.
I'm really happy.
Right.
I'm really happy with Flight Sim X-Plane 11 at the moment, so I'll do a whole heap with that, go through flight school in general aviation, do some general aviation flights, and I'll do trips that I would do here in Australia. So for instance, at the end of an episode, at the moment I recorded the autopilot, the AI, doing a flight from Newcastle to Port Macquarie. Now, when I'm in the episode, I'm not at that stage yet. And having an actual throttle might help a little bit later on. Controlling a plane with a keyboard throttle is a lot better than trying to control a plane with rudder with a keyboard. That is for sure and certain. But because Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming out, there's a lot of people that are getting things like yokes and rudder pedals and that sort of stuff, and it's even been noticeable, steering wheels and that sort of stuff, because a lot of people are they're either working from home because of the global pandemic. We are still heading in the right direction. We're close now. We're 7 miles out, so we're not far. So a lot of people are turning into things like Flight Sim and whatnot during this time, because they're either working from home. I haven't actually done work from home. Like, I've either been home because I've been off duty, or because I'm on days off, or I've been sick. A but I can't work from home doing my normal job. So we have basically arrived. But there's a lot of people that are either working from home, or when they are at home, they're not really going out, so they're buying things like flight simulator hardware or whatever. And normally, we got a train somewhere that I can't see but I can hear. Normally the normal production would be sweet, but because extra people are getting into it and that sort of stuff, production probably has slowed. It is slower for stuff to arrive. There's a couple of, there's one order in particular that I think that I can chase. The other I've just got to wait, and I'll give it a little bit longer. It keeps on saying, oh, the stuff's arrived. Sorry, the stuff's in transit, but I've got no idea where it is. It's probably still in China somewhere. But there's one company that I'll chase up by the end of the week if I haven't heard anything, and say to them, oh, you've sent me a couple of surveys to say, have you enjoyed...
Keep right. And then turn right.
What? I was through the light when that went off. That's ridiculous. Anywho.
Turn right.
There's been a lot of people trying to buy flight sim gear.
You've arrived. It's been my honor and duty to see you through this mission.
So we'll skip that. You don't want to see me try and reverse for half an hour. Nobody needs to see that. That's 443 miles, 9 hours 46. We are almost at level 6 now. We're on time, so we got a bonus for that. Long distance delivery bonus, got a bonus for that as well. And we're almost level 6. So let's do our last, should be our last skill point. So where are we going for our next job? So where were we? We're all the way over here now. I've had to move the map. We're in Alabama. Montgomery, Birmingham, Columbia. Each one might not have a dot. It started with G, I think. There's lots of dots down the bottom of the screen now. Gadsden, that's it. So we can go to Augusta, Georgia. Oh, we're almost in Georgia. We can go to Illinois. Don't want to go up there yet. We can go back to Arkansas. That's basically going backwards, as is Knoxville, Tennessee. And that's it for where we are. Speaking of ships, I just heard it. We will take this job. It's 39,000 pounds of lumber heading to Augusta, Georgia. So my plan is to go down to Georgia, go down to Florida, somewhere like Miami, and then go up the east coast, and then come back via the top of the US, head west. And yeah, that'd be good. Anywho, I did promise you that you can see some video of Meow. Here she is. baby girl. Hello. Hi, baby girl. Oh, you're a good baby girl. Look at you. Yes, baby girl. Hello. This is Meow Cam for the very first time. Hello, Meow. Meow, the camera's behind you. There we go. There we go. That's a good Meow. You gonna disappear now, are you? Yep, there we go. There's Meow. She's gone. She has gone. Meow has gone. And now we can go back to the game. Oh, look at you, baby girl. It's Meow Meow Cam. What are you eating, baby girl? What are you eating? You got some cat food from the bathroom? You eating some biscuits? I think that's what you're doing, are you, baby girl? Eating some biscuits. Are you alright? Yes, don't press any buttons like you took a screenshot the other day, baby girl. Although that was quite funny. I wish I had Meow Cam then, but I didn't. But I do now, and you're disappearing. Okay, bye now. Alrighty, we have come back to American Truck Simulator. That was Meow. That was Meow Cam, and here she is. Meow, hello. Meow. You're okay, baby girl. We have some lumber, Gadsden to Augusta, Georgia. So we're heading into the deep south. Let's have a look at our quick stats, brought to you by me. We're heading to Augusta. We're expected Thursday afternoon to Thursday evening. We have 21 hours of the job window, and our next rest stop is in 14 hours. We're only expected in 4.5, 239 miles, so we won't need that rest time. Will be night driving. So let's get into it. Do we have a beacon? No, we don't have a beacon. That's a shame. So,
those who would like to see you fail in your journey, that's not going to happen on my watch. Let's go.
Oh, we've even got cup holders. Look at that, you guys. You guys, we have cup holders, you guys. Oh, how cool is that? Okay, let's go. Let's go. Just do some trucking. With our load of lumber. So on this episode, we'll deliver 2 loads. Alright. We're going to the left, Mr. Freeman. Big load of lumber, as you can see there in the left-hand mirror.
In 0.1 miles, turn right.
Oh, is that a ship on the river? On the Mississippi River? Looks like it. Oh, presuming it's the Mississippi River, I'm just guessing.
In 0.1 miles, turn left.
We should stop. So we go through this little bit and to the next intersection where that truck is passing through. But can we stop at Simpson Avenue? Oh, well, we kind of have. So a couple of shorter trips on this episode as we head down in the general direction. Didn't get through that light. So that's a nice looking cab, couple of cup holders. Passenger seat. So this would be more of a day cab, not really meant to be doing long trips that you need to rest. So it's only a short trip in comparison, only 4.5 hours now. Oh, it's not the Mississippi River. I presume that's like an opening bridge. Based on those traffic lights before it. Now that'd be cool if you could see that open. If you just happen to be there in time. I think we've got one opening bridge in the general area, the Sydney. Now I don't know about the Hunter area, but I know in Sydney there's one opening bridge that I can think of, which is the Spit Bridge, heading to the northern beaches of Sydney. So that's places like Manly, heading over towards Manly, Palm Beach, all of that sort of general area. The locals joke that that the Spit Bridge is basically like a border gate to keep all the people who don't live on the northern beaches out, so they can just put up the bridge at any time and keep people out. And also so people from the northern beaches don't leave the northern beaches. There's a couple of car ferries. There's one that crosses the Parramatta River, actually. I've been on it once. It's been quite some time, though. You can just go from one side to the other. It's a little bit more common when you're a little bit out of Sydney to be car ferries. There's actually a couple to the north.
In 0.1 miles, turn left. Turn left.
say you just drive your car on, and there's space too if you're a pedestrian or if you're a cyclist or whatever. On most of them, so you just go across the river. Now I must look that up if they've actually got any around here. There's now I'm in Newcastle, as I mentioned earlier. A really famous area that's known by locals and people in Sydney to come up to is Stockton Beach, and a lot of cars but mainly the four-wheel drives go four-wheel driving along Stockton Beach. Oh, really? What is the speed limit over me? 30, 4 miles over. Okay. So Stockton Beach is a really popular area for people going on short holidays, and also people who like four-wheel driving and that sort of stuff. They go four-wheel driving through sand dunes and all of that sort of stuff.
1 mile. Turn right.
And so from Newcastle itself, it's a very short ride in a ferry across the Hunter River. It takes about 3 minutes. I haven't done it yet, but I will. It takes about 3 minutes to go across the Hunter River from one side to the other, from Newcastle to Stockton. That's the only ferry route in Newcastle, by the way. Passenger ferry, I should say. If you were to do that equivalent trip in a car from Newcastle, you've got to head a lot west, and then you cross the Hunter River, and then you go north, and then you backtrack and you head east. So for what's taken 5 minutes, oh, we're in Georgia now. I just saw a sign that said Georgia State Line. For what takes 5 minutes in a ferry, probably takes 20 minutes if there's no traffic in the car to get to Stockton from Newcastle City. Now it's a bit different if you're coming from Sydney or wherever. You can avoid Newcastle City and you can go around to Stockton that way. But I must actually look up to see if there's actually any car ferries around here. I think that'd be an interesting experience actually for a slice of life. As I said, I think there's some on the northern Sydney fringe, and also on the central coast. In the Hunter, I'm not sure, because where I'm in Newcastle, we're basically regarded as the Hunter Valley. But I'll have a look and find out if there's a car ferry and get in the car one day just to go on the car ferry and record the experience. That'd be cool, I think. That would be cool.
Keep right. And then turn right.
At the traffic lights.
Turn right.
That would be cool. Oh, that's a nice car. The red car turning around. Here we go. Oh, I see what they've done here. Have I got anybody behind me? Ah, there we go. We can see it. Now, the service station here, Chevron, that is the real name of the actual service. That is the real name of the actual service station. Now, in American Truck Simulator, they call it Chevron. Same colour scheme, but you can basically figure out what it is. So in the real, I think it's the real gas stations mod, like I saw earlier on this episode or the previous episode that a BP service station worked. So a couple of episodes ago, I thought to myself, oh, they've converted the Chevron into the Chevron. But when I actually went past one of those service stations, it actually did say Chevron. But what's happened is, and this is by no means a criticism, this is just me pointing it out for my own curiosity. The actual the sign that we saw just then, with the price of the fuel on it or whatever, they've changed that. But they haven't changed the sign on the roof. And again, that's not me criticising, that's just me pointing it out. So if you see the roof sign first, you think, oh, that hasn't converted. But if you see the sign by the side of the road first, you think, well, that has converted. But if you see both within a very short period of time, you see one or the other.
Exit right.
Okay, we can exit right. So we're heading to Atlanta Airport, ATL. One of the busiest airports in the world, ATL. Had a great couple of visits actually to Atlanta. With Captain Jeff, the airline pilot guy, is a podcaster, and he's a airline pilot for a major US carrier based in Atlanta. He calls it Acme. You can probably figure out what it actually is. But he lives in Atlanta, and that's where he's based, and so I was going through there a few years ago. We actually met up in Vegas for the first time. This is when I was podcasting, and he still is. And we'd corresponded and that sort of stuff, and early on in his show, and I gave him a couple of ideas for his podcast that he still uses to this day, the airline pilot guy. So we actually met up at the New Media Expo in Vegas, and then a little bit later on in the trip, I was down in Atlanta, and I said, I'll be down in Atlanta these days if you're free. It'd be cool to hang out. So he gave me a tour of downtown Atlanta, and that sort of stuff, and that was cool. I did the CNN tour before that. There's actually a good shot of us outside the CNN building, both pretending to be airplanes, which was quite funny. But he's actually in the process of because there's an accident up here, Morgan, so I'll just keep to the right for the minute. Oh, I can't go down there. Okay, I'm going to have to exit. Oh, they do a lot better job blocking it off than the Europeans do.
That was the longest night of my life.
Oh, I hear you, brother. And so, yeah, Captain Jeff's in the middle of going back into training for a new aircraft because they retired the aircraft that he was on, and unlike me with my trains, he only has to fly one type of aircraft. So now we got to backtrack a little bit, a bit of an alternative route because of that closure, but that's life. So he's sort of in a holding pattern, pun not intended, partly because of the global pandemic, but also, they were going to retire the aircraft anyway. But the downturn in travel meant that they were able to accelerate that process. So he's just waiting for a date to start his training on his new aircraft. And so, really cool guy. We were going to
And pin. Exit right.
we were going to watch the Super Bowl together, but he had a day off when the Super Bowl was on, and we were going to watch it in Atlanta. But he got an overtime flight instead, and he's like, "Oh, you don't mind if I take this flight because this is worth good money to me?" And I'm like, "Mate, that's fine. You go right ahead." We'd already hung out by that stage, which was cool. And so we'd already hung out. So I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool, mate. I know sometimes how rare overtime can be." And that sort of stuff. And being a senior captain, he can afford to pick and choose when he flies and that sort of stuff. And I really like the way in aviation that they can actually bid for their rosters, and every month they can put in and they can decide what trips they want, and as long as they do a minimum number of hours, and then there's a maximum number that they can do as well. Choose to work as little or as much as you want. So I think that's quite cool. But I had a couple of interesting experiences with the Super Bowl. The 2013 Super Bowl, I was actually in Mexico City. That was, I don't want to say who was playing because I can't remember. I don't want to get it wrong, but Augusta, so we're not far, because that's where we're going. Somebody crashed into me. Great. Or I crashed into him. I don't know. I didn't see him. At the back there, I think the trailer hit him. I can tell you definitely that the game was at New Orleans, and I'd only been to New Orleans a couple of weeks prior, and I saw that they were making preparations for the Super Bowl. However, they still, at that stage, hadn't recovered from Hurricane Katrina. And there were still parts of the city which looked like they'd just been basically abandoned, and that's the way that it was after the recovery efforts, and there's been no improvement in some of the areas. And there's actually tours that run, and they highlight, probably for the tourists, so they can say, hey, look, it's not all rosy in New Orleans. Like, the tourist areas and all that are fine, but there's still areas that are affected all these years later. Atlanta discovered. Wasn't sure if I'd actually be able to go through Atlanta, but I have. So there are still parts of New Orleans in the suburbs that are still affected at the time that I was there, and quite frankly probably still are all these years later. So I was in Mexico City, and I was watching the Super Bowl.
Keep right. And pin. Turn.
I was in the Hilton Hotel because I was in Mexico City, so I didn't want to stay anywhere. I didn't want to stay anywhere dodgy. So I went, and they had.
Keep left.
A little bit earlier, Morgan, would have been really helpful. Anywho, the NFL had I think they had a ban on English broadcasts going into Mexico at the same time as the game, so the only live coverage of the Super Bowl that I could see on TV was the Spanish version. Was the Spanish commentary. I couldn't see any either online in Mexico or on TV. I couldn't see the English language version at the same time. I couldn't see it live. So I thought, well, I'm sitting here in the hotel in Mexico City. I'm here anyway. I understand a little bit about the NFL and the Super Bowl and everything like that. It would be interesting to hear the Spanish commentary, I guess. We are in a Spanish-speaking country, so it sort of added to it. And that was the year that in the middle of the halftime show, the power went out to the stadium. And so there was a big delay while they tried to get the generators and everything to kick in so they could bring the players back onto the field for the second half. Now you could see the players on the field, but it wasn't bright enough for TV and for the spectators at the stadium. So they had to delay the game. And I was in the hotel on the hotel Wi-Fi and that sort of stuff, and watching the game, and also watching the reactions on Twitter and Facebook from people that I knew, primarily in America, who'd be watching it. And there was a tweet that I always remember. I don't necessarily remember who said it, but I certainly remember the sentiment. And keeping in mind what I said about New Orleans and still recovering from Hurricane Katrina all those years later, how it was still recovering in places. And someone tweeted, "Wow, so finally America cares if New Orleans has power or not." And so that was telling. That was certainly telling. Finally, America cares if New Orleans has got power because it disrupted the Super Bowl. Very apt statement. So the 95 miles now to Augusta, according to that sign, which would be pretty accurate according to my navigation at the top of the screen. And then the next year was the year that I was going to watch it with Captain Jeff. We actually watched it at I actually watched it. He ended up going on a flight somewhere. I watched it at Hooters in Atlanta, and it was good atmosphere. Interesting to see, the biggest game of the NFL season in America in a sports bar as it was designed. And the previous year to be watching it in Mexico, watching it and listening to the Spanish commentary and trying to figure out what's going on and how excited the Spanish commentators get when something happens. So they were my experiences with the Super Bowl. Now I know enough to get by, and it's a long game. Lots of stop start etc. And it's really the sort of game that is designed to be on the couch, watching on TV, drinking a few beers. Baseball's the same. So, believe it or not, we've actually almost arrived.
Continue straight.
We're about an hour to go now.
That was the longest night of my life.
Right on cue. Thanks, Morgan.
Make a U-turn. Let's keep our enemies guessing.
What? Make a U-turn? Keep our enemies guessing? What? He didn't tell. He just said go straight, and then all of a sudden he goes make a U-turn and make our opponents guess. That's probably a line from one of his movies. That's random. I haven't heard him say anything apart from that was the longest day of my life. And some people want you to fail. Not on my watch. And in 0.1 of a mile, turn left, etc. You know, I hadn't heard him say anything like, let's keep our opponents guessing, let's do a U-turn.
Keep left.
You know, keep left. Oh boy, if I had a voice like Morgan Freeman, would I be making YouTube videos? Seriously? Good morning, this is Morgan Freeman, 18 minutes before the hour of 7. Great day coming up in Newcastle. Sunny all day, top temperature 25 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, looking over Nobby's head. Now we're about to have a double shot of Nickelback. I don't know. It'd be funny though if I don't even know where the lane lines are because of the sun. I think I found them. It'd be funny if you threw in a few more random things. You know. Now with this game it wouldn't work because of how the control system works and how I'd basically have to alt tab out of this screen to get onto another screen. But just imagine if there was a soundboard, like a Morgan Freeman soundboard, or whoever, and I can just insert at random stages just a random soundboard. Things to do between episodes. Find a Morgan Freeman soundboard.
Keep right. And then exit right. Exit right. In 0.1 miles, turn right. Turn right.
Green light, green light. We mustn't be far away. We have to turn right up here. In the mirror. Here we go.
Keep right. And then turn right. Turn right.
Whoever's involved in this team of the I think this is a coast to coast map mod. We're in Georgia, nowhere near the original territory of American Truck Sim, and look how good it is. So it looks like just around the corner and to the left. That's fitted in really well time-wise as well for the episode. That's really cool.
In 0.1 miles, turn left. Turn left.
Looks like we're on a construction site. Looks like we're on a construction site. $257 miles, 7 hours 53 minutes. We're now level 6, which is awesome. And we've got one more skill point that we'll put to long distance. So we'll apply for that. Now, before we go, let's have a look at our job market and see where we are. We are in Augusta. Augusta, Amarillo, Atlanta, Augusta to Nashville. Is that the only one? Seriously? Yep, that's the only one. So let's pick somewhere from Atlanta instead. So for it, so from, there we go. Now I can grab the map and bring it over. Alright, so we can go from Atlanta, we can go to Asheville, North Carolina, so that's heading north to Athens, all the way over there to North Dakota. Gee, you're going through Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, the top of Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota. Great trip, but not the direction I want to head. I want to head somewhere down towards Florida. Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's basically going north, repeating the route. Charlotte, North Carolina. Might be able to get something to Miami from down there. Back to Tennessee. Not really. So we'll take that job to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then hopefully be able to get something to come back down the coast to Florida. Some iron pipes. Although that does look like an epic journey back to Athens, North Dakota, though we won't be doing that just yet, though. Imagine the long trips I'll be able to get by the time I get to New York. So we'll have a look at our truck, and then we will say goodnight to you on this episode. Hope you have enjoyed simulatedgaming.com, and also, gee, look at all those pipes, hey? Simulated Gaming on YouTube, simulatedgaming.com. There's our truck for our next episode as we head to Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm Simulated Dirk. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Stay safe, and don't forget, watch out for trucks. See you later. Bye for now.
There are those who would like to see you fail in your journey. That's not going to happen on my watch. Let's go. There are those who would like to see you fail in your journey. That's not going to happen on my watch. Let's go.
Can we stop for ice cream, Bart? Can we stop for ice cream? Oh, it's the Max! Ho 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 ho! The Portland light rail system, the Max, and that's what it actually looks like. How sweet! End of May, June, July, And now we're into August, so
That was the longest night of my life.